Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing my December wrap-up. So it has been quite some time since I've filmed a video, so I need to get back into the habit of doing so, and I've missed you guys so much. I hope that you had a very good holiday season, and I'm just going to dive right into my wrap-up for December. So in an attempt to kind of boost my Goodreads challenge stuff, because I was way short of 100 books, I think I had like 15 left or something to that effect, I read a lot of short books and a lot of graphic novels. So this past month I'm not that proud of, because I think that I cheated by reading short books and books that are very easy to get through. Granted, I did read some books that are a little bit longer, but you'll see that in just a little bit, so let's get started with this. Some of these I read on ebook, some of them I have physical copies of. The first one that I read is called Mermaid Tales from Around the World, and this is retold by Mary Pope Osborne and illustrated by Troy Howell. This book is absolutely gorgeous. It is pretty short, but it does have stories, obviously, about mermaids from around the world. Unfortunately, and ironically, the United States is not in this book, which I thought was a little bit odd, but it does have stories from Japan and France and Ireland and things like that, and it has very pretty illustrations that I really enjoyed. I ended up giving this book a 5 out of 5 stars. I thoroughly enjoyed it and I highly recommend it. I'm not like hugely into mermaids, so I was a little bit skeptical about this book, but I really did enjoy it. It's not your typical mermaid-esque like YA book. It's actually like myths and legends about mermaids, so it's pretty interesting. Then I picked up Lock and Key Volume 6, which is the final volume of Lock and Key. I have been wanting to read this for quite some time. I finally purchased it with a coupon because these are kind of expensive, and this one's pretty thick compared to the other ones. I really enjoyed it. I'm sad that it's over. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars, and if you're looking for a graphic novel series to get into, I highly recommend this one. Okay, so the next book that I picked up has no words in it whatsoever, and it is Simon's Cat and Kitten Chaos, and I'm trying to see if it will focus. There we go. So I don't know if you guys are familiar with Simon's Cat. There's actually a YouTube channel which is quite funny, and I really enjoyed it. So this book was on sale for Black Friday, I think, for like $1.99 or something to that effect, so I decided to give it a shot. Unfortunately, I didn't enjoy it that much. I gave it 3 out of 5 stars just because I like the idea of Simon's Cat and I think it's humorous, but these stories in book form, it's a little bit hard to follow, and it's a little bit difficult for me to find it funny because I can't follow some of the stories because there's no text, so it's kind of difficult at some points, in my opinion, to understand exactly what's going on in the story. And there's different stories throughout this book, so it's difficult to tell when they begin and when they end because there's nothing to indicate the ending of a story and the beginning of a new story. So it was okay, but I definitely prefer the videos to the book. The next book that I read is Fortunately the Milk by Neil Gaiman. I checked this out from my library and I actually listened to it on audiobook. It was only about an hour long, so it didn't take much to get through it. I think I was wrapping Christmas gifts as I listened to it. I really enjoyed it. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. It's a kid's book, so I wasn't sure what to expect from it, but it's narrated by Neil Gaiman, which I thought was excellent because I love his voice. It was very easy for me to get into. It was very fantastical and humorous, and I really enjoyed it, and I definitely recommend it. The next book that I read is Player One: What Is to Become of Us by Douglas Coupland. This is the first book that I have ever read by Douglas Coupland. I have been wanting to get into his books for quite some time now, and for some reason this book just called to me and I decided to give it a shot. It says that this is a novel in 5 hours. If you can see the cover clearly, it looks like something on a plane, like it would take place on a plane, so that's what my impression was. Flight is involved, but the story actually doesn't take place on an airplane, which was unfortunate. I didn't like this book. Not really. I mean, I gave it 3 out of 5 stars. It was an okay read, but I didn't find it as enjoyable as I thought that it would be. It was kind of a letdown, and basically it is what it says, a novel in 5 hours, and it follows several different characters and their backstories, and I couldn't get into it. The writing itself is pretty good, but the storyline was just, it was kind of difficult to get through at some points. So I don't think that I would recommend this book as a first book to pick if you're wanting to get into Douglas Coupland. I have about 3 or 4 of his other books that I would like to read, so maybe those will be better. So the next 2 things that I picked up are The Walking Dead Volume 21, All Out War Part 2, and The Walking Dead Volume 22, A New Beginning. And these were both excellent. I, of course, gave them both 5 out of 5 stars. Then I picked up a very, very extremely short book by Roald Dahl called The Magic Finger. I have never read this book before, so I wanted to give it a shot. Look how tiny it is. I definitely cheated this month, but I really did enjoy this book. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. It's about a girl who has a magic finger and she has difficult controlling that finger, and if she uses it on you, bad things may happen to you. It's a very cute and lighthearted story, and I really, really enjoyed it. Then I picked up The Walking Dead Volume 23, Whispers into Screams. This is the next to the last one that's out right now, I believe. I think I have 1 more to purchase after this one, and then I think the next one doesn't release until sometime later on this year, but I'm not exactly sure on the date. I gave this one 5 out of 5 stars, of course, just like the other ones. I adore these graphic novels and I cannot wait to continue on with them. The next book that I picked up is My Secret, a Post-Secret book. I love Post-Secret, and if you have not checked it out, please do. It's at postsecret.com, and they post postcards every Sunday from around the world, and I really, really love that website and everything that they stand for. So I picked up this book, and it just has different postcards from around the world, as I said, and I really enjoyed it. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. It was a very, very fast-paced read, as you could probably tell, but I do highly recommend these books. There are several other books aside from this one that are out right now that I do not own, but maybe I can get my hands on them in the future. And then I picked up The Opposite of Loneliness, Essays and Stories by Marina Keegan. I picked this up because Witty Novels had mentioned it in one of her videos, and I was pretty intrigued by it, and I didn't enjoy it as much as I thought I would. I ended up giving it 3 out of 5 stars. This young girl passed away very early in life, and she had a collection of short stories and essays that were then published into this book, and some of the short stories and essays were really good and I really enjoyed them, but some of them I did not enjoy at all, so I did end up giving this 3 out of 5 stars. It is an okay book, and it is very heartfelt, and I understand that putting this book together is very important considering that this woman wanted to be a writer, and it was very inspirational, but as I said before, I didn't enjoy it as much as I thought I would. The next book that I read is Stormfront by Jim Butcher, and this is book 1 in the Dresden Files. I do not have this book with me right now. I think it's packed away from travels, and I don't feel like digging through my suitcase to find it, but I really enjoyed it. I picked it up on a whim. I think that I found out about it from Lindsay Ray, and I really liked it. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars, and I cannot wait to continue on with the series. And the last book that I picked up in December is Zodiac by Romina Russell. I ended up giving this book 3 out of 5 stars. I didn't enjoy it quite as much as I thought I would, but that may have been because I was reading it during my travels while I was on planes and going to and from different places, and I think that that may have distracted me from the overall plot of the story. I think that had I been not as distracted, I would have enjoyed it more. But overall, it was an okay read for me, and I do recommend it. It's kind of an outer space novel. I won't give too much away, obviously, because I never do. But if you like space novels and things of that sort, I would definitely recommend this, especially if you like Across the Universe by Beth Revis. I think that it's very similar to that. So that is going to be it for this video. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. Please let me know in the comments below what books you read in December, and if you've read any of the ones that I mentioned, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!